Hi, here is a guide to all of the maths tools that you can find in LYNX Whiteboard. LYNX Whiteboard is the free presentation app that you can get with Clevertouch screens. It has a range of maths tools embedded within. Here are a range of the maths tools that you can bring out onto any page. You can see that we have an interactive ruler that we can move around the screen, and we can move these nodes so that we can measure a line accurately, and then when we're done we can just stamp that line onto the screen. We also have two types of compass that we can change by pressing on the top. The first one will just do normal circles for us, and the second one will draw segments of a circle for us. Very handy when we're creating pie charts. We also have some dice that we can utilize whenever we're doing some probability or playing a game within LYNX, and we can add dice and we can take dice away. We also have a calendar, and we can scroll through various months and years and see the accurate representation of the dates. And then we have interactive clocks as well. If we click on the clock, we see the floating toolbar that will come up under any item within LYNX, and in there I could reveal the digital time, or pressing on the clock icon I can reveal the interface that helps me change what we're looking at. So if we want to stopwatch and I hit play, it will start to count down for us. Or if I just go to clock, it will show me the time, and I can remove hands to make it a bit more simpler for various ages of students. Now, if I want to find these math tools, it's really easy. All I have to do is, from the main toolbars, go to the plus symbol where we have lots of additional content. It's our insert section, and I go to content, and in the middle at the top you'll see a folder icon, and that will take us to the area where we see all of our basic folders, and you can see the one labeled maths, and when we tap on that it takes us into our tools. I can then drag the tool out onto the screen or insert it. So I've just selected the protractor, and it's really nice and easy to use. I can position this so that it goes onto the corner of this angle here, and then again I've got some nodes here that I can use so that we can measure the angle and work out exactly what it is. And when we're ready, again, we can stamp that result onto the screen. So those are the basic maths tools that you can interact with on any page. We can also take some shapes onto any page as well. Again, we go to the insert content area, and if we go home, we can see a shapes folder, and here are some ready-made shapes that we can drag out. They all start off initially in blue, and we can position those on the screen really easily. And then thanks to the floating toolbar, we can very quickly make changes to these. So if I want to change this one to yellow, it's nice and easy to do. So those are shapes that we can bring out whenever we need them. We can also jump to some shapes from the insert area. There's a shapes area with some default shapes that we can get as well. So at the moment it's set to a yellow square or rectangle. And if I go on circle, and before I insert one, I'm going to change the colour. And now at the moment I've got ovals, but when I've got it to a nice circle shape, these little corner pieces will come in to tell me that I've got that as an accurate circle. Now there's also a tool called Shape Split, and that's found in our editing section via the paint pot symbol. So when I go in here, we have some crop tools such as a knife, very handy if we want to cut pieces off a shape, as I've just done there with the arrowhead. But we also have Shape Split. If I click inside the circle and move my finger around or the mouse, you can see we're splitting this up into slices, and when I let go, that is now semi-permanent split. If I do that with a rectangle, I go down for rows and across for columns, and when I let go, it will split the shape for me. Now I can join all of these boxes together rather than keeping them all separate as well. So all I have to do is drag across all the various pieces and I can join them. I could change the colour and I could tap into one of those and start typing. So very quickly I can make a table, or maybe I just want to use these as some kind of array and we can do some kind of calculations with them. Next we have tables. So we could make a table using shape split, but actually in the insert area there is a section called table, and so if I choose the type of table I want and insert it, it will place it onto the screen. I can then adjust the width and the height of the pieces that we've got there and move it around. In fact, if I unlock, I can actually mess around with the lines ratio to each other as well and then lock it again. I can then also take objects and place them into cells, as I'm doing with the shapes here, and position that one in there. Oh, they've gone behind, unfortunately, those ones. Not a problem. In LYNX, all you have to do is make sure that you bring things to the fore, and now they will behave themselves and lock into position as I want it. Now let's say I want to label these shapes. I can click in there and I can start typing for what each one of them is. So now we've got my circle and a triangle and finally pentagon. Now if you think that text is a little bit small, not a problem. From the floating toolbar, we can just go into here and we can change the size. If it's a little bit too large, we can just change that one, or we can adjust all of them at once. So it's nice, quick, and easy to do. Now, we also create some content that we will often share to teachers via zip files that we will email you or you can download from our website. If you go to clevertouch.com, there is downloadable content on there. Now, the one I'm going to show you is one that we've developed ourselves, the teacher team at Clevertouch. So I'm going into content, and this time I'm going to this folder down here called My Content, because you can in LYNX create your own library of resources that you drag out whenever you need them. Now in here I've got a maths folder, and this is the folder that we can share to you. It's got a range of tools. Anything you can think of in a maths classroom is there. So place value counters, for example. So I can drag out place counter mat, put that onto the screen there, and then we can drag out the counters to go into the correct columns and build up a number. Let's pull out 1,000,000 there as well. We'll just take those away. What else have we got? Well, we've got graph papers. So we've created these in advance so that you can pull them out onto a screen and put them into your background. And we've made it so that these are editable as well if you want to change the axis too. So it's nice and quick and easy to do. We've also got a range of measures, so things that you can drag out and then write on in a session when you're creating problems for the students to solve, or you just want to show how we read various scales, and there's lots of different resources included in there, so weights, capacity, temperature, and so on. We also have a fractions folder, loads of fractions in here. So we might pull out the number representation of a fraction, but we also want to find the images that represent them as well. And we've done that with both circles and with rectangles too, as you'll see here. So there's a 8/8 making a hole dropped onto the page, and they all measure up the same size, whatever the fraction, so you can work out equivalencies and things like that. So we've got lots of resources. So 3D shapes, 2D shapes, and nets. We've got bar models that we can drag out and then write on top of, as well as things like Numicon and the cues and air rods that we can pull out and play around with, and they match up nicely so we can do the place value and things like that. And we've also got place value rods as well. So a range of resources that we can send to you. Now, as well as resources you can pull out, you can very quickly create your own resources just by using LYNX Whiteboard as a whiteboarding tool. And we have some backgrounds to help you do that. So from the page options here, I can go into Edit Background, and as well as a variety of colours I can also pick patterns. So we can have dotted paper, grid, triangles, just lines, hexagons, and the more scientific grid paper. We also have a slider bar so we can adjust the sizes of these backgrounds. So I can go as large as that or as small as that. I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. I can also set this background on an infinite canvas, meaning that I've got that background now in every direction for as far as I wish to go. So very, very handy. Now let's have a look at some of the pens that we can use on these backgrounds. So we go into the pen area. First of all, of course, we've just got normal pens, so I can start writing problems on here for students to come up and solve. And I could also send those to the background layer too to protect them. I've also got a laser pen, so I can be pointing out to students where we would start if we're solving this, but then that annotation would fade. We also have line pens as well, so I can go from one area to another and add a line onto the screen, or I can go from corner to corner and they can snap to a grid if a grid is on the screen. But also I can select one of these lines and I can mess around with it. So I might want to make it a dotted line, or I might want to put something at the end of the line, such as an arrowhead. Also, I can change the line so that it isn't just a straight line. I could make it an angled line. So if we're using this on a graph and we want to change the values, we can do that very easily. I can even turn it into a curving line as well. And if I add extra points, then we can slide these around on the grid and chart a path across the grid however we need to do. So very, very handy when you're doing live kind of grid creation with students. Now there are some other pens to show you that are very special that we'll get to in a moment. But first of all, let's have a look at something else in the insert area, which is the media search. So in the content, if we go across here, this is our media search, and you can see that I've already started looking for types of triangles. So all I have to do is pull out one of these images and have a look at it and decide if that's something that's going to be of use to me. I can also come in here and look for videos. So if I go to YouTube, I can find a video that might be good and I can pull that onto the page as well. And when these videos play, what's really great is that it will play without any adverts. So we'll allow that to come in. Here it comes. And as it's playing, I'm going to hit this little snapshot button underneath, and the key moments of the video will be stored behind the main area. Just while that video is playing, I'm also going to have a look, see if there's a triangle GIF that I can use. Let's just do another snapshot because the video's moved on to something else. So it's showing me something interesting. Triangle there. So as the videos play, as I say, we can be taking snapshots of those key moments, and then when we're done watching the video, I can move that out of the way, and all the snapshots, those key moments of the video, are here underneath that we can storyboard and sequence around. So the media search makes it really nice and quick and easy to find content. Now, if you go to lynxcloud.app, our website, there's an extra download for free called the LYNX Screen Recorder. Here it is here. I'm actually using it to record this video. And you can turn the microphone on and start to record a video. And then that video can be put onto one of the pages of your presentation and played on a loop to explain to students exactly how to do something. So in this case, it's explaining how to use the ruler tool. Very handy resource. Now, LYNX the app is free, but we started to put in some AI tools, and those come with a subscription cost. It's only £2 a month per user, £24 for the year, or if your whole establishment, your school, college or university would like it, we can sort you out with a site license, which makes it cheaper again. It's really good value, and there are a couple of pens that you get that are linked to all of the AI features. So I'm going to show those to you now. First of all, we have the maths pen, and this is a really great tool. So I can be writing some equations, and when I pause, it will convert the equation into the correct symbols and numerals, and also give me the answer in a hide and reveal box. We'll look at that in a moment. It will calculate basic equations, it will do square numbers, it will do square roots, and it will also do fractions. It will also work on all symbols all the way up to degree level. There we go, so it will convert that formula for me there. Now the other pen that you get with LYNX Pro is the text and shapes pen. And with this one, you can be writing something, so we might write the word formula, and it will convert it into a font that I can choose. And also that is a live text box that we can edit. But also with that pen, I could then draw things around it. So if I'm scaffolding this on the board, I could be drawing boxes and things, and it will convert them and make them look a lot neater for us. And that will also include any lines that we put on. So as we're making links to things, that if something's looking a bit messy, the tool will kind of straighten it up, neaten it up as much as it can for us. So two very handy pens there. Now also we have an AI assistant in our LYNX Pro tools that we can use to create content for us, and there's some examples here. So for example, here on the left, I asked the create paragraph tool to describe how to construct an equilateral triangle using a ruler and a compass. Now it's done that for me there, but actually I don't want it just as a paragraph. I'd rather have asked it to write that as a list, which I could have done. Here in the AI tools, I'm actually going to ask that to rewrite it as a list. And it will change that for us. And you can see that happening behind the box while it's generating. So I'll just, we can see there now, it's put those instructions into a list. In the middle here, I asked it to come up with some two-step maths problems for 10-year-olds involving division and multiplication. So it came up with some examples. And I then asked over here for the formula that helps us measure the area of a circle. And because the AIs do their best to explain things in a matter-of-fact and clear way, you can really see that it can save you some time with some of the things you're looking to give students content on. Here I've got something that I would like the AI to try out for me. Describe the steps when you're using vertical addition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that text, and we're going to go to the AI assistant, and we're going to create a list, and I'm going to paste in that text and ask it to generate that for me. Here we go, and then I can insert that text straight onto the page. So again, a fantastic resource that you get if you decide to go pro. Now, you also have some LYNX activities. These are free. You get these anyway, but to access them, you have to go to our website. So on the LYNX cloud, there's an activity zone, and in here are lots of activities that you can choose. So there are calculators, interactive clocks, you can create spinners and quizzes very easily as well, so you can see there's more clocks there. As I scroll down though, you'll see that there are dozens and dozens of maths and science simulations in there from a company called PhET. They really are worth checking out, and those are accessible for free. So to finish off, here's a summary of all the various math tools that you can access using LYNX Whiteboard. I'm sure you'll agree they add up to something really fantastic. Thank you ever so much.